what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
I got no audio. I can see myself. I can't hear anything. Fuck, that just happened. And Rob, you blacked out. I guess you're just going to stare at me. I don't know if anybody can hear me right now or not. I still got no audio at all. I'm back, solo dolo. Who can hear me? Who can hear me? I know it's fun times, right? The ghost of Herman Cain. He lives in 2021. His spirit's still getting no rest. Please bear with us while we work through this technical difficulty. These happen from time to time. It's the ghost of Herman Cain. And we were just talking to each other too. No problems. As soon as the show cut on, out of there. Maybe I'll try to reload it. Man, I still got nothing. What the fuck? Bro, I got no audio. Aha!
All right.
I hear things.
There we go. There we go.
Fuck you, ghost of Herman Cain.
All right. So we're doing things a little bit different here on Villain Radio. Here at Villain Radio Studios, White Devils. This is our last Wednesday episode. This Sunday we will be airing on Sundays at 4 Central Standard Time. We didn't want to leave you guys with a big gap, so we're here today. Me and Rich are here. He's remote. I'm in the control room at Villain Radio Studios because we're redoing the podcast area right now. We're gonna try to get everything going here. I will be ducking out a little bit because I am in court right now. I'm in Zoom court, so it's weird how the pandemic has everything. So we're gonna get into a couple things right off bat. If you guys know, unless you've been under a rock, there's an impeachment going on again, part 2, or impeachment the remix, if you will. So we got a couple of we got a couple things to get to about that before. We didn't really want to touch on it, but it's everywhere right now. So
every time I try to get out, the Republicans pull me back in. Can you hear me, Rob?
Every time, Rich. But this, like I said, this Wednesday, today's show is our last Wednesday show. We will resume Sunday night, 4 o'clock Central Standard Time, and unless it's a special, previously announced special or something that we do, we will be Sundays after today. So
the Lord's Day.
In 5 days, you guys get us again. So until then, we're gonna bring you the bullshit today. The impeachment's going. I mean, I don't want to say it's going well, because there's still a lot of shit that could go wrong between now and when it's all said and done. But we were talking about this behind the scenes before we started the show. Trying to drive the facts home, and it's just whether or not that everybody's going to realize that shit was all fucked up the last 4 years. And there's so much material they can bring forth. It's not just a Capitol riot, or should we say the white nationalist domestic terrorist attack by the band of cousin fuckers. But there's so much shit they pulled from the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, where do you even start?
I think they started at November 3rd. Is what they did. You know, like, I mean, you could go back farther. You could all the way to him coming down and calling Mexicans rapists and murderers. I mean, you
could go all the way back before the election of 2016.
Yeah. You know,
I mean, realistically.
When he said he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose a follower or supporter.
Like, and you know what? The fucked up thing was, we thought he was just being very facetious when he was saying that, but he was fucking telling. It was truth.
It was all just dripping, just, you know, drop after drop after drop till the pan overflow.
Now, trickle down economics don't work, but this bullshit Trump did trickle down fucking worked.
Yeah, trickle down fear mongering for sure did.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what's your take so far and everything that's happened, that's played out with the impeachment hearing thus far?
Well, like you said earlier, I didn't want to have to talk about this. I didn't want to have to talk about the Cheeto. I almost feel like you got to bring back the Cheeto pick now.
You know what? I don't even think I have it in here. I think I might have just erased it because we retired it. I didn't think I needed it anymore.
But he won't go away. He's like fucking herpes.
I erased it. No Cheeto picture.
He's fucking like herpes, man.
Yeah, like all the Abreva you use is not helping.
Let me tell you what's starting to get on my nerves real bad, bro. And this is on liberals. They keep calling him President Trump and then correcting themselves. It's former President Donald John Trump.
It's former President Cheeto.
Stop calling him fucking president. They won't let go of him, man. And he is good TV. I can't even lie to you. But I'm just tired of it. I want to get back to regular governance. I don't need all this extra shit. I'm really not for it. But
we thought that was all over already. We thought we were good, but we weren't.
You know what though? I think there's an opportunity for Biden here. Let it all be about Trump, man. And then you can just kind of slide in and do what the fuck you need to do. The White House is steering way clear of this whole thing. They are not dipping their toe in the water. They're not interested. They're trying to push this COVID plan and the rest of their agenda. And I'm glad about that they're not getting caught up in the bullshit and they're actually governing. Because for 4 years we were all caught up in the bullshit, and I guess a lot of us still are.
We're caught up in a lot of the bullshit.
Yeah, but as far as for the impeachment itself, shout out to Bill Cassidy, the one Republican senator that swung his vote yesterday on the constitutionality, because Trump's lawyers, someone just texted me today and said Trump just hired Lionel Hutz. You know what's interesting, Bruce Castor, one of his two main lawyers, is a local lawyer from Philadelphia. So the guy I listen to, Michael Smerconish, who I listen to often and I call the GOAT anytime I get the chance, is from Philly too. So he used to interview him a lot. So he's been talking about him. He's actually the lawyer that took Bill Cosby's deposition and said that he couldn't be indicted for it, which was kind of clownish at the time. But it was that deposition that they used in court against him to end up convicting him.
Okay.
So he kind of like accidentally did some good. But he came out yesterday, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't listen to too much of him, but he's getting roasted, man. Even the other GOP senators were just like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, this is our defense. This is what you're giving us to vote nay on, or that he's innocent." And
okay.
so, man, they're looking super weak. And aside from that, well, I heard he was trying to bring in new lawyers this morning. So in mid-trial, that's bad news. After you just fired your first set of lawyers a week before trial started, it's rough and rugged, man.
I
But
mean, we've seen how he's went with lawyers throughout, his entire fucking life.
Because you don't pay these motherfuckers. That's why I can't keep them.
His professional business career or his political career.
Yeah, he don't pay them. He don't pay nobody. He pays people a fraction, pennies on the dollar, and tells them to fuck off, sue me. It's crazy how he's gotten away with that over the years. And hopefully that's coming to an end now. It seems like he's just about run out of fucking respectable lawyers.
Okay.
But I mean, as for the House managers, they're putting on a very compelling case. And they're using video, and they're using audio, and they're telling their own personal stories because they're actually, it's like I know they're in the Senate chamber, but it's sort of like the courthouse would be the equivalent. And that's where the crime took place. So they're actually at the scene of the crime.
Fuck. Yeah, they are. Unfortunately.
So, and a lot of them were in the building when this was going on. So it's really hitting home for them. The House manager leader, Jamie Kasten, I think his name is. Dude, he just buried his son for suicide from depression the day before the Capitol riots happened. And he was at the Capitol riots with his daughter and his son-in-law. Or he was at the Capitol building that day. Like, how fucking terrible. What a awful week, man. How can you not feel for that dude? So that sucks for him. I feel for him. But they're laying on a very compelling case. I heard yesterday there was reports coming from out of the Senate chamber that like Marsha Blackburn was reading a book. What book do you think she was reading, Rob? I don't know. But I got a couple of guesses. Insurrections for Dummies. Yeah, she was just reading while they were playing this 13-minute video of just awful gut-wrenching footage of cops getting fucking beat up and killed, and politicians and their staffers running for their lives.
You got the shaman guy with the Viking helmet guy getting transferred to a prison that's going to feed him an organic diet because it's a part of his religion.
Yeah.
Well, if I go to jail, I want to be transferred somewhere where I can smoke weed because it's part of my religion.
There's one thing while you kind of went that way that I want to throw in that I meant to say last week and just didn't get to, is that there was a lot of people getting charged and let out on whack-ass bonds. And these DC judges were scooping them back up and throwing them in detention with no bond. And fucking God bless that DC judge. Because I don't know, like, dude, you fucking stormed our Capitol. Like, you're a fucking traitor to this country. You don't get a fucking $1,000 fucking bond. I'm sorry. Like, you get to fucking...
There's no reason that you should.
You get your butt pounded by fucking Big G and the gang.
by Bubba and company.
Right.
I mean...
but I heard that today the Senate was more locked in. Because I mean, like I said, it's a very compelling thing they're putting together between their speeches and the video. It's a very compelling case. I don't know how you can't watch it.
I feel like when I do watch it, I feel like I'm in the middle of a John Grisham book, and I'm just waiting for the fucking twist.
Yeah. Well, you know what bothered me too was like I was watching them deliver the articles of impeachment or originally walk into court. And it's like you could hear the Law and Order theme song. Like, why do y'all have to walk in as a group, bro? All dramatic. Like, chill the fuck out. Just show up and fucking do your job. It doesn't need to be like a big dramatic thing. You walking down the hall into the fucking Senate chamber. Like
Let's not
it was
make it
some.
any bigger of a spectacle than what it's already became
Well, you know, politicians
or
are always
become.
for the pomp and circumstance, and they're always have a going to have a flair for the dramatic. But yeah, man, like kill the West Wing shit, bro. Like I don't. It needed like it almost had background music. It was just like it's unnecessary, man. Just do your jobs. um, but yeah, the GOP seemed. They said the senators seemed to be more locked in on the stuff they were reporting today. Uh, I still don't think we have very good odds of winning. But you know what? They said that about Biden. They said that about the senators from fucking Georgia. I don't know how you defend this, especially with the quality of attorneys Trump has, with the little amount of time they had to prepare. You know, like I said, I listened to a lot of Michael Smerconish. He was ripping them apart today. He was like, dude, all you had to do was this, and this. Quote this guy. Like it would take 2 days max to prepare, but you booted it. You booted all of it just to talk some other goofy shit that was like incoherent, didn't make no fucking sense, and you're getting fucking shredded. They admitted yesterday that they had to change their approach because the House impeachment managers were just killing them. They just laid out such a great case. So we're clearly beating ass. I mean, they still get 16 hours after this to lay out their case, but
Yeah,
it's probably just going to be buffoonery and laughable emoji level nonsense. Is what it sounds like. That's the
I
preview we
can
got
only
yesterday.
imagine the shit they're going to come up with and the shit they're going to say. It's going to be probably, it's going to be a circus. I think.
Yeah, like they're going to point out the one thing, like you said, go protest peacefully one time in the middle of saying you need to fight like hell, or you need to fight 20 times and fight like hell a couple times. You know, like you see all this insightful shit, and then you throw in like one thing just to cover your ass. You're not going. I know I'm not going.
I'm
I
no
hope not. I
going.
hope none of our fucking viewers are going. But I think the GOP senators might be going, and why I think that's cowardly and pathetic and stupid, because like we said in the in the pre-show, if you're running for 2024, like if you really want to play this like chess and not checkers, you don't want to suck Trump's dick. You want to knock him off the fucking board because you know if
Yeah.
he's alive and free, he's going to run. So why would you not take this opportunity to take advantage of the situation to clear him off the board? You got 4 years to get that smut off your rep. Man, the way the news cycles spin these days, motherfuckers will forget you did it in a week. And if you're talking that same good Trump shit, you're
Yeah.
still going to get most of his supporters back in 4 years or 3 years or whatever. But it doesn't seem like that's what they're poised to do. They just take the weak approach, man. Like, and you know what? You could say, well, maybe they actually believe it, and no, they don't. No, they fucking don't. They're scared of Trump having someone primary them. They're scared of Trump shitting on them. They're scared of losing Trump's base because before Trump, the Republican Party was a bunch of empty suits with no fucking energy, low
Yeah.
energy jabs, all of them. And they're trying to
That they were.
capture that energy. But I don't believe that they even believe this shit because these are all smart dudes. Like idiots don't make the Senate. Usually not the House either, but there's a few examples or a few, of the opposite. But the senators are older, smarter dudes. A lot of them are lawyers. They know what the fuck it is, and they're just fucking cowards, and they're just power hungry, and they're sucking up to power, and it's fucking pathetic, man. Do the right thing. You know, do the right fucking thing. Bill Cassidy started to do the right thing yesterday, and he's already getting attacked by the state GOP party in Louisiana, his home state. They have fucking strong issues with what he said yesterday. When he said Trump's lawyers were a bunch of dingleberries, useless fucks, and he voted that it was constitutional because the House actually put on a better case. So, you know, if you're Josh Hawley or Ted Cruz, I don't know why you're not trying to knock him off the board right now to move on without him. Because you don't want to go against him in 4 years.
It don't make no sense.
Yeah.
But welcome to America. Georgia is starting to investigate everything though surrounding his little well, including his phone call and everything else. The shit that he was doing to try to overturn the election. So
they're investigating him for fucking conspiracy and racketeering, and it's based off this recorded phone call. And it sounds pretty bad, to be honest.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, he got 9 lives if you think about it. He's been able to reinvent himself and come out of piles of shit, smell like roses. His whole personal life, his whole personal business career. So, and also in his personal life. So we'll see what happens. But that's just the beginning of the shit because New York has been in the background, slowly getting everything together to bring him and the foundation down. So they're taking their sweet time because they want to make sure they have everything ready. They want to make sure that they have all their ducks in a row, so to speak. So
yeah, I mean, he's definitely had 9 lives, so you can't ever count him out. But at 78, you got to wonder how many he's got left. Because you know what,
yeah,
I'm pretty convinced that there's going to be a handful of indictments. There's going to be states fighting for his ass to get get the first piece of him.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how deep it's going to get. Hopefully a lot deeper. Because he just did a lot of criminal shit. And he bragged about it. And he thought it was cool. And he thought he was just going to get away with it. And he's a fucking idiot.
It's like the people that go live on Facebook selling drugs and wonder why somebody comes and robs them or the cops come bust them.
Exactly. You're on Facebook fucking showing your elbow, and then next thing you know, gang and them are at the door, ski masked up, ready for the whole shit. Or the cops are fucking in your inbox trying to buy from you. You know, like he just tried to do it all in plain sight. And, I mean, he had a good run, man. He had the presidential protection, but that shit's a wrap now. And there's people super coming for his ass. And it's starting with the impeachment.
Everything that he was trying to do would have succeeded, 20, 30 years ago. But the way that technology has advanced, and he's one of those, he's like a toddler who's doing something that he knows he's not supposed to do, and everybody's like, "Yeah, why are you doing this?" And he's like, "What? What are you talking about? I'm not doing nothing."
Yeah, I don't know what
like
he knows,
right there.
Man.
We see everything happening in real time.
Yeah, I don't know what he knows. Like, I don't want to think it because he's had a lot of success too, and I don't want to think of him as like this 8-year-old buffoon. But sometimes that's the only answer, is that he's just a fucking idiot.
That's what it's looking like. It's literally what it's looking like.
So before we move on to these few other topics, I've heard a lot of Republicans kind of defending the Capitol 6 or January 6th Capitol riots with the BLM protests in the summer. Kind of, using whataboutism. Well, first off, before we even get to that, I've heard a couple people say that those riots were January 6th Capitol riots were led by Antifa. Let me tell you how much bullshit that is. Bro, Antifa ain't coming to
A
no
lot.
Trump rally.
No.
Antifa ain't hanging out with no Trump supporters, bro. They show up to fight Trump supporters. They're not fucking organized enough to even pull something together like that. Everything with Antifa has always been very spontaneous, and it's just ridiculous. And you know the House managers are peeling that defense away because they're pulling up. The one lady had different quotes off the internet, off of like Parlor and shit. People talking.
Yep.
I mean, come on, man, that's nonsense. Like you're just not. You're just refusing to accept reality if you think Antifa put this together or was involved in this. And I've heard that a couple times, and that's nonsense.
They know it all, though. You know, they're all know-it-alls. They're the smartest people. They're the most successful people.
Well, again, I
They
think
know
it's
all.
people. It's like, not only do I not believe you, I know you don't even believe you.
You
You
don't
know, like
believe yourself, bro.
right. I know you know that's not true. I know you're spitting bullshit. I've heard it on the radio, once on the radio and once on TV, in two different occasions. They're like, I've got these papers and I've got this, and they're like, well, what's the person's name? Send the information over, and the shit never shows up. It never shows up. They're like this. I was listening to the Laura Coates show on POTUS Radio yesterday, and she was getting into it with this dude, and she's like, well, send it over. Why isn't Fox News reported it? If you got 38 pages of documents showing verified Antifa people at this riot, then
Yeah.
you've got all this info to show the shit, and the shit never comes up.
Hand it over.
Yeah, it's just more bullshit. But yeah, like a lot of Republicans have been justifying the riot with BLM protests, and sometimes the riots that came after those. Um, Rob, should we spend a little time getting into the differences?
We can. We can if you would like. But before we go any further, let me just give a tidbit. Speaking of Fox News, Lou Dobbs has been let go from
Oh yeah,
Fox. He is. We could get into this later too, but I just wanted to put that out there. It's from that lawsuit because they're getting hit. He was named in that 2 point some billion dollar fucking lawsuit.
yeah, 2.7
So
billion.
Fox is like, let's start separating ourselves now. So, but we'll get in that before the show ends. We'll talk about that. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get into the shits.
Well, the first thing that jumps out at me is that when the BLM protests went wrong, most of the time, I know shit got a little funky in Seattle. I'm not sure what happened there, so I can't really speak to that. But I went to a few BLM riots, or no, riots. Jesus Christ, protests.
Damn, Rich.
I know. Man, I'm fucking half dead, bro. I'm in no condition to be rioting on anything. But I went to a couple protests right after George Floyd, and the people that ended up doing the looting and all that kind of shit were not the BLM protesters. That's the first difference. These were opportunists that just saw a chance. You know, I mean, was there a couple young punks out there spray painting shit, defacing cars, maybe bashing windows? Yeah, there was a little bit of that. And it was probably uncalled for. But the people that did the main damage, they weren't in the protest. They showed up just at the end to take advantage of the mayhem to fucking loot and come up, which is a very Chicago thing, by the way.
Very, very Chicago
You
thing.
know,
For those who don't know.
Now, the people that stormed the Capitol building were the people that were there to protest, were there to listen to Trump speak. You know, they were the equivalent of BLM, but they actually went and did the damage. The fuck shit didn't happen for us till we went home. That's when the fuck shit happened. I was at home watching that shit happen. I wasn't there for that. I was there to protest and to let the world know that police brutality needs to stop and they need to be held accountable. These motherfuckers were there because they thought they were going to take over the country. and take fucking congressmen and women hostage.
and
So
execute them.
yeah. So that's the first difference.
They had plans to kidnap Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
Like,
They were trying to kill Mike Pence. Man, you know how many
and,
times I've seen the video of Mike Pence fleeing the fucking building today? It's outrageous. What other differences are there? The distinctions we can pull out.
I mean, we could get real technical. I mean, if you want to sit down and think about it, but
Well,
I mean,
we were fighting for reform within the system.
we
They
were fighting
rioted,
in we were fighting injustice, and these motherfuckers were fucking
fighting to overturn an
an
election
election.
because they were
They
lied
were
to.
we're fighting for injustice, and they're like, fuck it, let's just fucking organize a full blown terrorist attack.
Right.
Blue lives matter, but let's kill a cop.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like, I can't sit here and say, well, 100 degrees certainty that nobody has died at any of these riots. But you're talking about 6 people. You're talking about a handful of cops. When did we kill cops? When did cops get so pussy? Why didn't the Capitol Police shoot anybody? If that was BLM storming that building, they would have shot as many people as they had bullets for. That shit is
Unload
crazy.
the whole magazine
Right.
on them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold up. I'm gonna look for something, and I'm gonna.
But
I'm
you
gonna
know,
bring
you said your Blue Lives Matter, thin blue line, all that shit, and then you come in and you kill cops. You kill the police.
Yeah.
We were protesting against the police and killed less of them than you did. So that's a pretty big difference. Another point is that, like Rob said, we were fighting for injustice. You were trying to overthrow the government. Now, I'm not going to say that we didn't touch no federal buildings, but they were empty at the time. And it wasn't the Capitol building. Like, there is a distinction there.
Okay,
Oh,
hold
my
on.
fucking nose
Okay,
itches.
here we go. Look at that. I'm gonna share this real quick. I was reading this morning. There's this there's a guy that I follow on Facebook because his friends are maxed out currently. But it's just little things. He's a very good writer. He's a veteran. So he's been very outspoken about Trump over the last 4 years, 5 years, 6 years or so. But this goes down, and this kind of breaks it down about the difference between Republicans and Democrats throughout this. Like it says, Republicans will say presidents can't appoint Supreme Court judges during the last year in office. Also, Republicans appoint SCOTUS justice during Trump's last year in office. Republicans, the nuclear option is unconstitutional, right? Also, Republicans uses nuclear option 3 times. Republicans, all Obama does is sign executive orders. Also, Republicans, Trump uses executive orders because he has a mandate from the people to implement our agenda. He also works like really super extra hard and totally deserves to relax on the golf course. Let's see. Republicans, here's a good one. You can't force a business to make gay wedding cakes. Businesses have the right to decide. Also, net neutrality is socialist plot to destroy capitalism. Also, Republicans, how dare business borrow us from their platforms? What about freedom? It goes on and on and on. Republicans, president's children have the right to earn a living and advise a president and totally go to Israel and do State Department stuff. It's not nepotism. Buy their books is totally in there. Also, Republicans. Oh my God, what about Hunter Biden? It's Republicans. We need guns to defend our right to have guns so we can overthrow the government with our guns because tyranny. That's why Trump, because, guns. Also, Republicans, who even knows how this insurrection happened? It was like a spontaneous random thing, I guess.
One of the interesting things that the impeachment managers brought up earlier in their case was that Trump had a guy, I think his name was Jim Scavino, that was like a professional social network surfer. So he was watching all this stuff unfold and reporting back to Trump. And they say there's no way that they both didn't know how serious it had gotten leading up to January 6th.
Yeah. It's what else is he goes into? Oh, here you go. Republicans. You can't put an elected official like Trump on trial after he's out of office. That's unconstitutional. Also, Republicans to Hillary Clinton. Yeah, we're going to need you to come testify in front of Congress again.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting tidbit related to that is that this impeachment was filed by the House on January 13th when he was still in office. Mitch McConnell asked for extra time to I don't know what he thought he was going to do with it, but
Mitch
he
was
wanted
gonna
to push it off till February 9th. But that's what created this whole argument that you can't impeach a former president. Because
Yeah.
if we would have just went ahead with it like we were gonna, he would have still been the sitting president when we impeached him. Well, technically he was, but I mean during this trial, he still would have been the sitting president.
Yep.
But because we were playing fair with Mitch, because he said it would be easier for Biden to get some of his cabinet members through and get some things done if he got more time. And maybe they wanted time to prep for the case, which I don't think worked to their advantage at all.
No, not.
Because the case we assembled in that 2 weeks is pretty thick. Yeah, but Mitch has been interesting in this whole thing. He's been flip flopping like a fucking pancake, bro.
Yeah, he has. He's been trying to ride that fine line very closely. So it's all interesting. It's like I said a couple weeks ago, the world is watching us like we're a fucking episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I mean, we pretty much are at this point.
We're the train wreck reality show that you just have to watch because what the fuck's going to happen next?
Right.
Stay tuned on this week's edition of America.
That's how it was for 4 years with Trump, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a TV guy, so you can't really be too surprised at it. Man, they just showed I got CNN on in the background, and the impeachment managers just showed a picture of the hangman's whole
the gallows or whatever.
Yeah, they built one there with the noose and the wooden platform underneath.
Oh shit.
I feel like it's a good time to point out these motherfuckers were in there waving the rebel flag and basically fucked it up twice. You stormed the Capitol building, didn't find no politicians, didn't end up killing anybody in power. Like, it's just like the Civil War all over again, bro.
Then be surprised when the FBI finds you and charges you.
Over 200 indictments so far. Yeah. I guess they can't get them all, but they're
live
definitely
from
trying
that
to
motherfucker. What Rachel says, according to one law enforcement official, medical examiners did not find signs that the officers sustained any blunt force trauma, so investigators believe that the early reports that he was fatally struck by a fire extinguisher are not true.
Who you're talking about is, Rachel, is Officer Sicknick. Yeah, he got beat up and kind of fucked up, but then went home and died later that night. And you know what? They did kind of throw him up as a martyr.
Yeah.
And that's why I haven't really talked about him. Because I don't know what to make of it. Like, until they find a real, like a for sure concrete cause of death. I'm kind of on the fence with you on that one. He did die later that night. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. I mean, these cops got their ass kicked, though, pretty bad. Like, I've been seeing clips of the footage all day, and they were treated very, very poorly. The one guy screaming as he's trapped between the doors, he's trying to keep the rioters out. Like, that dude lived, fortunately. The black cop, Goodman, that led them away from Mike Pence. Like, he could have got fucking killed. I'm not even sure if the Capitol Police carry guns, to be honest with you. I don't know how none of them fired. I don't know.
Joe, we are moving to Sundays starting this Sunday
Sunday,
at 4 o'clock
Sunday.
Central Standard Time.
White Devils on the Lord's Day.
Yeah, we wanted to make the move. Yeah. Now you care?
I mean, bro, like when they deserve it, they deserve it. You know, and we've never gave them what the Trump supporters gave them on the 6th. Not to
Yeah.
that degree.
No.
Motherfuckers, bro, like I said, I was down at the protests in Chicago, bro. And motherfuckers were fucking around, but didn't nobody really want no smoke with the CPD, bro?
No,
Didn't
that's a
nobody
that's
really
a
like once they started throwing flashbangs and shit, like it was kind of a wrap. That was it. Like we
fucking
didn't we
with.
didn't
You can't really fuck with Chicago police because you don't know what you're gonna get. They're gonna put you in cuffs and you're gonna think you're about to go get booked and you're gonna end up in a basement somewhere
yeah.
getting
Or
fucking
yeah.
your fucking
Or,
nipples electrocuted or some shit.
yeah, bro. You don't play around with CPD too tough. You
Yeah.
know, you make your point. But we weren't stabbing motherfuckers with American flagpoles. We weren't spraying bear spray in motherfuckers' faces. You know,
Yeah.
we weren't leading the police to death. Like these motherfuckers were fearing for their life, bro. And I've
Yeah.
always been in favor of good policing. I've just always been against bad policing, bro. What Rob? Tell him the slogan. Hit him.
Go to jail, bro.
Go to jail, bro.
Go to jail,
If you
bro.
committed a crime, you go to jail, and that's their job. Like tough titties, man. I've been to jail. I've been on that side, so I can speak that with full fact. The one thing though, to swing back around to Sick Nick, the one thing that kind of bothered me because they put his remains in fuck, I forgot what building it was, but it's in DC, and it was like a honorary thing where all the politicians came and visited it. It was like on display for a day, bro.
Motherfuckers,
And like
photo op ass motherfuckers.
CNN was showing it because they had cameras in there. MSNBC was showing it because they had cameras in there. Fox News wasn't even playing the shit. They acted like shit wasn't even going on, man.
Because
Like
it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit their agenda. Because
right.
that's gonna.
Well, I
That's
thought
gonna.
you were pro police. Isn't that your
That's gonna.
agenda?
That's still gonna. Well, they're pro police and shit, but they're pro Trump more. Well, actually, they've been moving away from it. But that's gonna happen on his watch. I mean, incited by him, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, he used the Law and Order shtick to get the backing of the blue, and he acted like he was all down for them, and then he just sold them out, man. He sold them out like he sells out everybody else. He doesn't give a fuck about nobody but his own advancement. At this point, you just have to accept that as a fact that Donald Trump is a shitty human being. If you like his policies, you like his policies, but he's a fucking terrible person.
And he wasn't even a good Republican.
No, he's changed the Republican Party. They're so different than what they were before. He blew a hole through the deficit, man. They used to be fucking deficit hawks, and he fucking came in and blew a hole in it.
All for his friends.
He was gonna make a step on guns, but then he
Or the
pushed
people
out.
who used to be his friends anyway.
And he was gonna make a step on immigration. Then he pushed out because people that are influential came to him and told him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
This is Donald Trump, man. He didn't believe in anything but winning and maintaining power.
Yeah.
That's it. So whatever he had to do,
he did.
Dude, there was reports, and granted, whatever, their reports taken for what they're worth, that he was watching the Capitol riots with fucking glee. So proud of his supporters. And there's even like tweets out there where he's calling them patriots and shit. But then his staffers fucking basically forced him to release a video saying, hey, chill out. I love you guys. Go home. Like he was forced to do that. That's not, I don't know, man. It was shitty leadership. It was real shitty leadership.
I mean, we shouldn't we couldn't expect it any less because that's That's what he's done. His whole administration was fucking a shit show, fucking selfish, self-serving tenure.
Well, and that to me is if I was on the defense or on the impeachment manager's side, my biggest point would be who was surprised by this? Everybody could see it coming. They've been festering this shit and drudging this shit up and stirring this shit up for months.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, could you know that it was going to be exactly the Capitol building on January 6th? Maybe not. But I mean, it was going to get violent sooner or later. That was pretty obvious and inevitable.
I thought there was a chance that it would all end before something like that happened. And then again, I'm also very surprised that it took the entire 4 years of his term before it happened.
Well, when he was in office, it was all good. But once he kept going after the election was called, what happens if they convict him in the Senate? He's going to be, well, if they get 67 votes to find out if he's guilty, schmo, there will be another vote whether to ban him from future office. And that one is just a straight majority 51, which we will get. But the trick is to get that 67. You got to convince these Republicans to have a backbone, and they haven't shown any. You know, and hey, you know what, in fairness, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. I haven't heard Trump's lawyer's defense yet. That will come probably tomorrow and the next day, or maybe Thursday, tomorrow will be Thursday and Friday.
I'll be right back, Rich.
Or Friday and Monday. But from what I saw yesterday and how legal minds I listened to talked about it, and some of my non-biased my non-biased media I go to, it sounds like they're just shit. And I can't imagine them putting on a case that's going to be stronger than the one that's getting put on right now. I just can't do it. Like I said, the House managers are putting on a very compelling argument right now. If you're watching it with an open mind, if you're going to be fair and haven't just prejudged and wrote it off, it's a very compelling case.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that anything that these buffoons that are coming on behalf of Trump are going to sway me in the other direction. Maybe they will. If they do, I'll let you know Sunday. But I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. Your views are too important. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, the impeachment manager's case goes on. It's happening right now. Joaquin or Joaquin, I can't pronounce that name ever. Castro speaking. I'm kind of anxious to see the end of their case because they're building to something, and I don't know what they got tucked away because they've been showing footage and like 911 dispatch calls they've been playing that were from the police, and it all adds to it. But you just feel like they're building to something. So I'm wondering what the grand finale is going to be for the impeachment managers before they rest. I think would be the legal term there. But it should be, I don't want to say good, but it should be intriguing. It should be big. That's all I really have to say about the impeachment at this point. Rob, you got anything you want to add? We're 50 minutes deep on that already.
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to watch. They have been presenting their case very well. I watch everything like it's a fucking like it's a trial, a real trial anyway. So it's I like everything how it's playing out. I'm I'm waiting for some of these weird fucking betting sites to open up betting on whether he's gonna get convicted or not.
I'm sure you could find it somewhere. I still, if I had to put odds on it, I'd say 70-30 against us getting a conviction.
I'm a little. I'm on the other side of the fence. I think we have a 50-50 shot on it. I like those.
It's a strong case they're putting up, man. They're giving it their best shot. This is way different than the last impeachment. Way different.
Yeah. There's actual shit that they know that's happened, even if the Republicans don't want to acknowledge it or admit to it,
Yeah.
or whatever. But
Well, and
yeah.
they're all not just jurors, they're witnesses, they're victims. Dude, Trump in his speech before the riot happened, was talking about destroy the GOP. While like in his 70-minute speech before they came and rioted at the Capitol.
Yeah.
Just so why are you being cowards, man? He wanted to destroy you. Like Mike Pence was a senator, or well, no, fuck, he wasn't. He was a governor, but he was still a politician, a prominent Republican politician. He was a lot of your friends, and Trump just threw him to the fucking wolves, man. They were trying to hang him. His
It's
family
all
was with
about
him.
him. It's all about him. He don't care about nobody else or anything like that. It's all about him.
I know, but I'm looking at the GOP Senate, and I'm just like, dude, grow
Well,
some
they're just fucking
balls.
idiots.
Just grow some balls, man. You have to.
Yeah, they're not very smart.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they were coming for fucking Republicans and Democrats alike. Like, they weren't safe.
Joe asks, "What's our favorite Biden executive order so far?"
You know, this is the second week that I've been totally unprepared to talk about executive orders. I
Well,
like
there's
a
only
lot
been
of them.
9,417 of them, so it's hard to keep track.
Right. I think he did stop at the 42. I like a lot of them. I like his committee to get the immigrant children and reunite them with their families.
Yeah, that one I liked stopping at Keystone Pipeline.
I liked a lot of his fossil fuel ones, and let me just
Yeah.
say, like, and there's a ... at the end of that, because they need to come with some job programs for these people that are losing these jobs. You can't just leave them in the dust. And I know that a lot of politicians have talked that talk, but let's see them walk that walk. Let's see some tax incentives to get green businesses, green energy businesses, or new energy businesses, clean energy businesses, into those towns and those cities that are affected by the fossil fuel. I don't know, I don't know, debuilding, whatever. I can't think of the right word, but the places they're affected by us moving away from fossil fuel. Let's get them in some fucking new jobs, some new careers, safer ones. Coal miners, you don't need to catch black lung, bro.
Yeah.
Like they willingly do this shit because they don't see an alternative. Let's provide them some alternatives. But at the same time, we need to get away from fossil fuels, man. Like, and I know there's a gray area where some people are going to get screwed, but you can't just put it off. I was telling this chick on
you could also do, like you said, you could also do shit like creating those job programs, creating creating schools to retrain them for something else.
Yeah.
So you could soften the blow.
Recharging stations for all energy cars, man. Like, that's a big deal. We're gonna need them all over the country. You can put them shits everywhere, bro, and that's gonna be good paying work. You know,
Exactly.
I was into it with these people on Facebook over the weekend, and I was telling them there's whole countries that run off clean energy now. That's how far behind we are. Trying to stick to fossil fuel and fucking bring back coal and goofy shit like that. Like, we need to get into the future, man. We're getting left behind, and that's not what's up. And I understand, like,
we're not an innovative nation anymore, and we haven't been for a while.
no, man, we used to be the world leader on these things.
Exactly.
You know what? When we dropped out of the Paris Accord, and you might want to Google and double check this, but we were definitely the third country that there was three countries that were not in the Paris Accord when we dropped out. It was us, like Iran and Venezuela. Who the fuck wants to be Iran and Venezuela? Like, come on, man. We gotta catch up on this shit. You know, like trying to bring back the old days, bro. The 50s ain't coming back. We're just
No.
falling behind. Our infrastructure sucks. Schmo, you're from the same town I'm from. You drove on fucking I-80. It's shitty. Rachel, you too. It's shit. We need infrastructure. And it's become like a running joke for like 3 different fucking presidencies because they can't get the votes and the support to get it done. Bro, I was listening to Joe Manchin talk the other day, and he was saying there's some parts of West Virginia where he still don't get cell service and can't get no fucking 4G or 5G, bro. Can't get no internet. Like, this is fucking America, man. This is fucking America. We have to do better. In some of these cases, and a lot of the shit that I just fucking spout out about is because we just need to fucking do better. That's what I believe. The wealthiest nation in the history of Earth should be doing better. And we're
Much
not.
better. Much better.
In a lot of fronts. It's some bullshit. And
It's,
it
it's
needs to be
typical American
addressed.
shit. It's typical American shit. We got comfortable and we got lazy.
Yeah. I mean, we used to lead the world. We used to have the best infrastructure in like the 60s and 70s. But now, like, China's doing high-speed trains and shit. And, like, we're out here trying to, raising the price of fucking oil. Like, what the fuck is going on? And, Joe, Illinois doesn't suck nearly as much as a lot of these other states. That's all I got to say about that. It's got its problems.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot more than a lot of these other states got going on.
Yeah. Like I don't like being here. But
No.
things that keep
Wait, in Illinois or where you are?
where I am.
In Indiana.
I'm in Indiana. But like for people that are watching that are not in this area, if you understand where I'm at in Northwest Indiana, we are in the Chicagoland area. When we turn on our TVs out here, Chicago news, Chicago local stations. My paper on my porch is the Sun Times, Chicago Sun Times. So it's Indianapolis is 2.5, almost 3 hours away from here. So Chicago, I can get to the Chicago city limits in about 7 minutes from my office. Maybe 10 because it's winter, 10 to 15 because it's winter. But I don't like it here because of the weather, and the last week has been insane. It's been damn near single digits every day and below zero at night. We got we got the furnace going, space heaters in rooms and shit. And as I'm looking around at other places, like I've been looking to move. I mean, stay in the area, but move from my current abode, so to speak. And these motherfuckers are crazy. Like just to rent something out here, I thought California was bad, but it makes California seem very reasonable with the amount of rent that they're charging. Like even houses in Gary, Indiana, which any of you that know is one of the worst cities in America, and you're talking about 2 bedroom, 1 bath ranch house for like $1,350, $1,400, and it's insane.
My brother's house shopping around Indiana, a little bit more on the country than you are. And bro, like some of the fucking prices he's paying and some of the taxes he's looking at, like property
It's crazy.
taxes,
It's good.
It's the same as being where I live, man, in New Lenox,
Yeah.
which is like
Yeah.
for those that don't know, it's about 45 minutes southwest of the city.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I don't live in a $300,000 or $400,000 house, but there's a lot of $300,000, $400,000 houses. My guy just moved into one 8 months ago. He paid $300,000 for it, bro, and he's paying every bit of that property tax. You know,
like
but
if I'm gonna be spending $1,500, $1,600 on rent for a house out here, I'm not in a position to buy right now. As you know, I sunk my life savings last year into opening up a recording facility. Or wait, I said that wrong. A multimedia production facility.
bang,
That Rich is partners in with me.
bang.
But it's I rather spend the same amount of money on a fucking 1-bedroom apartment in fucking San Diego.
Yeah. But
You know?
it's interesting that the costs are the same. Rob, why don't you tell them some of the differences between living in Illinois and Indiana, since we're talking about it?
It's basically people from Illinois, the Chicagoland region, especially the southeast side, which is butts up against Hammond and Whiting. They all all these Illinois people, they come in, they spend millions of dollars a year just on the border at gas stations for cigarettes. Cigarette taxes are lower, gas prices lower, gas taxes lower. I mean, every tax you could think of is lower, and there's hundreds of taxes we don't have here. That Illinois taxes fucking everything. They tax you thinking about the tax you got to pay when you buy something. Damn near.
You weren't supposed to make Indiana sound good.
Well. Here's the thing. The only reason that I'm still here, besides the facility, which I basically got I got it where I don't need to be here anymore if I didn't want to be. But Indiana's gun laws are very good. So in California, in San Diego or LA County, I can't go get a concealed carry permit. LA County is the most populous county in America, and there's under 1,000 concealed carry permits. And this date backs to laws that they set in place during the 80s and 90s, in the South Central area, LA area, and all the gang violence. But they very rarely hand out a concealed carry permit. Same thing with San Diego. When I went to go get my concealed carry permit, I had to sit down with the sheriff, not an under sheriff, not a deputy, the actual sheriff, and had to explain to him why I needed a concealed carry permit. Meanwhile, in San Bernardino County, where there was a school shooting a couple of years ago, they'll hand out CCWs like fucking candy on Halloween. And here's some differences. When I moved back here last year, I really didn't have a choice. I had to come back. And after being here, the only thing that's more in California is gas for my car, because I have to put premium in the gas tank, and rent. While rent is a little bit higher, you're paying for quality of life. Okay, I lived in a city I lived in the suburb of San Diego that had one murder in 7 years. Okay, and it was two homeless guys. One homeless guy pushed another homeless guy over, and he busted his head, and they charged him with murder. I don't know if they were fighting over a fucking Subway cookie or a fucking piece of meth or whatever it was, but after spending a year out here grocery shopping, I do all my grocery shopping at Walmart. I did all my grocery shopping at Walmart in San Diego. The only thing I pay more for out here is gas for my car and groceries. My grocery bill at Walmart out here is more than it is in San Diego, even with buying the same shit. It's insane. But I could go buy a gun and get it the same day. There's no 10-day wait period like California. I have my concealed carry permit that I got in fucking 4 weeks. Even during a pandemic with everything, with a backlog of everything, I'm able to buy any gun I want. In California, there's a registry, a list of handguns that you're allowed to buy, and that's it. So, it's I don't like it, but I'm comfortable.
Well, then it's settled. We're all moving to Indiana. Great place to be.
Like Joe says, all those taxes Illinois has based, and we still can't afford to build a bridge. It's Northwest Indiana is so much like Illinois. Not with the tax. Well, property taxes are high in Gary for some stupid reason, but they're just trying to catch up for the tax base, and they lost with steel industry.
Yeah, and probably they probably generate no revenue. Beyond that.
We're about to open a new casino, a land-based casino, so it's going to be a Hard Rock. But that's even up in the air because there's some fucking corruption in fucking buying and selling the land that this casino fucking sits on. So it's always something with corruption out here. But I don't want to say it's night and day with Chicago and Northwest Indiana, because when you first get into Northwest Indiana, unless you're coming like from fucking Linwood or Sauk Village and you're coming through like Dyer, or you're coming in through Munster from Lansing or anything, you're coming in through fucking Hammond, and then your next city is either going to be East Chicago or Gary, and that tri-town area is not very nice, especially Gary, so
I used to record in
it's
Gary. One time I was driving down the street and I saw a dog that was dead, got hit by a car, and that dog
yeah.
was there the following 4 weeks. At the end, it was just a fucking pillow sack. Is what it looked like.
Gary's supposed to have at least 12 squad cars on the streets every shift. They're lucky if they have 5. And that 5th squad has 2 officers. So there's 6 officers to cover fucking 58 square miles.
Yeah. I think back to some of the blizzards we've had, and it's probably like some of the weather we're getting now. And I know that like Indiana had to shut down. They would call an emergency when Illinois didn't, because we actually had the resources to have enough plow trucks on the street and enough of everything we needed.
I think Gary has became so bad that there are major streets, which is Broadway, Grant Street, Ridge Road. They're all also state highways in some fashion. So they've pawned that plowing off to the state, but the state can't get to it till they plow fucking the toll road, fucking 8094 and I-65. So there'll be like Gary's basically virtually shut down, or drive at your own risk in the past couple of weeks with all the snow we've been getting for the first two and a half days after it snowed.
Dude, I got a buddy that lives outside of Valpo, and he's got 12 acres out there, and he loves it, and his family loves it. But like, I was trying to leave there, and I couldn't even get my GPS to work. And then I'm just like, dude, what if there's a blizzard and one of your kids gets fucking hurt and you need an ambulance? Like, how long is that wait gonna be?
Yeah.
If you it's crazy.
If you're looking, like Il Brown was just looking, he's they finally found a house, they bought a house, but he was looking, and I was trying to sell Indiana to him, because if you buy something outside of Lake County, if you go to like Porter County, and or if you go to LaPorte County, which even from the city it's not that bad of a drive, like you get to Michigan City in fucking half hour, 40 minutes, as long as traffic's not bad. And it's still, it's like if you live in a far west suburb or a far north suburb or a far south suburb. It's like there's tons of people in Joliet and New Lenox that fucking drive to the city every day for work.
Yeah, I've driven into the city thousands of times.
I sent this link to Il Brown. It was a house that was in Porter County, which is right next to Lake County, which we're in. But it's on County Line Road, so it's right across the street from Lake County. It had 7.5 acres. 4.5 of them are wooded. It was a tri-level house, all that shit. They only wanted like $197,000 for it, and the taxes were only like fucking $890 last year, or 2019 was last year that they had on Zillow. But he passed on it, of course, because they were open to moving to Indiana, but they weren't really open to moving to Indiana,
Not that Indiana. Hard for a lot of... He ain't no country dude. I couldn't see him fucking in some bibs, fucking chewing on some straw.
But it's not even that country, because it's only like 20 minutes from the studio. It's country, but he could be in Gary in 7 minutes.
Yeah, but who the fuck wants to be in Gary ever?
Well, I'm just saying that's how close it is to the city. But I mean, there's a lot of opportunity out here. It's very fast growing, and I say that because even though I was gone in San Diego for 7 years, I was back here. I come back here once a year, maybe twice a year to visit or whatever, and nothing ever changes. Now, in the last year and a half, it's been crazy. I've been back for a year, but the summer of 2019 I spent out here also. So, but fucking, the growth is crazy. Very crazy, and it's all suburban growth. It's all fucking strip malls anchored with major anchors, and then little strip stores and shit like that. Filling it out.
Yeah,
But
Illinois is busting at the seams, man. We're growing. Like this town used to be a lot smaller
yeah,
than it is now.
yeah. See, the suburbs are growing, and everybody's leaving the city because the city's Chicago taxes everything. When Illinois wants to tax everything, whatever Illinois don't tax, Chicago does.
Yeah, but you know what? Now's a good time to point out because I've heard people on the right talk about, oh, look at everybody leaving Illinois, look at everybody leaving California, but look at the fastest growing cities: San Diego, Phoenix, and
Yep.
there was one other one. They're all, I think it was, I don't know if it was a city in Nevada or Nevada, the state, but it was all blue cities and or blue states that
Yeah.
people are going to. And what we're going to end
Uh,
up doing, Lord
but
willing,
see, here's
is
San Diego though. San Diego's usually historically Republican,
right, but California is very
but
blue.
but since I've left, they just the mayor Kevin Faulconer was the mayor previously. He's a fucking idiot. He's one of the reasons, besides the Chargers owner being a fucking idiot too, that the Chargers left. The Chargers wanted a stadium downtown, and the mayor didn't want it. You know, and then the owner, Dean Spanos, the owner of the Chargers, paid more to move to LA than he would have had to pay to build a stadium in San Diego.
Just to make the point.
Yeah, but they just voted in a gay Democratic mayor in November. San Diego did.
Yeah.
So
Well,
he's been doing so far so good. I still keep up with everything there because even though I've been back here for a year, I'll still paying bills and shit out there until August. So I still keep up on the news feed on my Facebook, and the newspaper, the TV stations, all that shit. I still keep up with it, and I hope to return there one day.
I don't know if I can do another Illinois winter, man. I think I've had enough.
Yeah, but
I
you
think
know what? Like you were saying, three of the fastest growing cities, Vegas, San Diego, and Phoenix. Those are all three on my list of where I'm thinking of going. And Arizona has jumped. Phoenix has jumped to the top of the list, um, for the simple fact that they just legalized recreational marijuana.
Arizonians got to be looking around like, what the fuck just happened to my state? They were
Yeah,
all fucking white pride Trumpsters, and then
there,
the blue just took them over.
yeah, I have family there. I've spent time there throughout the years, but they have a lot going for it. They've consistently every decade been the fastest growing city. And that's not just Phoenix. It's the whole Phoenix metropolitan area has been growing at such a rapid pace, and it's still just expanding, because there's just so much fucking room, because it's just fucking desert as far as I can see. While it
Yeah.
does get hot as fuck there in the summer, I've been there in August and it fucking hit 116 degrees. But
Yeah.
I'll stay in the fucking house, turn up the air, and there you go. But yeah, but they also when I look at places to move, I look at the political climate, I look at the climate, I look at the weed laws, and I look at gun laws. Arizona, now that recreational weed is legal, um, yes, it does get hot, but there's no humidity. It they have it's been historically a red state. It flipped blue this last election, but the greater Phoenix area has always been, excuse me, left leaning. They've always been very progressive, you know. So, and then the gun laws are awesome. It's a constitutional carry state. You could go to the gun store and you could just buy a fucking gun. You ain't got to wait for a background check. You ain't got to get a concealed carry permit. You could legally open carry. You could legally conceal carry. And when you go get your driver's license, it's good for 50 fucking years. You got to go back to get a license for 50 years if you don't want to.
Yeah. Uh, you know, that kind of points to a larger point that I think needs to be made. Because when you hear like you talk about Phoenix or Elon Musk move Tesla to Texas, And people think that's
a lot of people are moving to Texas and specifically to Austin. Dallas and Austin are
right.
are are growing crazy. They have been growing for about the last 12 to 15 years. They've been growing crazy,
But
especially the Dallas Fort Worth area.
what you're gonna get out of that is liberalism is gonna spread. We've
Yeah.
already seen it in Arizona. We've already
Hmm.
seen it in Georgia. Now, Florida's probably next when some of these old people die. Texas. I mean, bro, like you think it's good that these people are coming to your state, but they're bringing our politics with them. They're not going to come in there and turn fucking Republican and all of a sudden start supporting Trump. So you're going to have to deal with fucking Elon Musk donating to Democratic candidates and spreading information about them and supporting them. It's it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
The long term the long term prognosis does not look good for the Republican Party.
No, no, no. It don't. But
You know,
it's and it's the core Republican values are so have been so skewed in the last 6 years,
yeah, I
and
don't even know what Republican core values means anymore.
they're not in Republicans are not in tune with the America of today, and they haven't been for a long time. And like I've said before, I really think this last election cycle is going to be the turn. It's going to lead to a whole new political world in America. It's not going to go as fast as I would like it to, but it's changing. Like there's a very good chance that the next president of America is going to be a minority woman.
Yeah. Getting back to the Republican core values comment, I heard a caller today. I think it was on Chris Cuomo's radio show, and he basically said that Republicans would eat a shit sandwich just to fucking get the win over Democrats. Gang gangs, Joe Dirt, what's the business? Hey Joe, next time you're in town, where my partner's sitting right now, that's our A room, bro. Come fuck around. Joe's a producer. He's from Chicago, but
Okay,
I think he lives in LA now. But that's my
okay.
homie, man. I was telling him to come fuck with us last time he was out here, but we didn't get it together.
Joe,
uh,
I seen that shit. I seen that shit, Joe, yesterday, and I laughed. I was all by myself, and I laughed so loud and so maniacal that I had to question on whether I needed to see a professional.
yeah, I mean, if you want to lose the next election, run Candace Owens.
Mhm.
Because I promise you, if it's Kamala Harris, she'll fucking eat her for breakfast.
I want to see a debate with Candace Owens and Jane Elliott.
I don't know who Jane Elliott is.
Jane Elliott is this lady, the race lady, the lady that says there's no such thing as race. She
Why do
gives
you want to
those
see that debate if they agree?
no, well, in a way, she'll tell you why black people had a rough and how they are.
Oh, is this the chick that had a room full of people and asked them, raise your hand if you'd rather be black? And none of the white
Yeah,
people raised their hands?
yeah.
Yeah.
She's been teaching her class for a long time and been she's really it's called the blue-eyed brown-eyed experiment or what it was. She's a diversity trainer, um, but she became, let's see, what was it? Yeah, it's she's really she's a person that you want to go to explain if she breaks it down. Like anybody that knows about her experiment and shit like that. And I'm too hot to get into it right now because we'll be here probably for the next 45 minutes getting into it. But it's something that we could go over in another episode.
Yeah, she's somebody that's got a pretty firm grip on the race issues of this country for a white person.
And she puts motherfuckers in their place.
You know, I talked to my dad. My dad's an old school dude, and he, you know, sometimes he just doesn't get it when he sees black people talking about black issues and all this. And I was like, well, what you fail to understand is that we treated black people like shit for like 300 years. To an extent, we still do today.
Yeah.
You know, like, so yeah, I mean, they're going to make movies about Fred Hampton and like One Night in Miami displaying black excellence, you know, and
As it
things,
should.
and they're going to come out and they're going to talk about black issues and they're going to bring things from a black perspective because we fucking treated them like shit for hundreds of years. So this is what they have to do now. They have to put their own culture to the forefront, you know, to give it value.
Yeah.
How many black lives, bro, have been ended with kids growing up thinking they had no value because of just what society gives them? You know, probably a lot in Chicago. And that's why the murder rate's so high. It's black kids killing black kids, ganging them because they were
Yep.
never shown a better way because their school sucked and never cared when they skipped class because there was no good jobs because
Because
anybody
education was
successful,
defunded.
yeah, because anybody successful moved the fuck out that neighborhood. So what are you left with? The only successful people in the neighborhood are the people fucking profiting off of it, the drug dealers, the slumlords, shit like that.
Exactly.
You know, so they got to do all this pro-black stuff just to show other members of their race that their race has value. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, you're going to get that if you put on the Joy Reid show on MSNBC. You're going to get a lot of pro-black stuff. And some of it might be a little nonsensical, but I can always understand where they're coming from. You know, he was talking about this one thing. He said that Abraham Lincoln was trying to send all the black people to live in like Guam or something. Like he was going to ship them all off the continental U.S., which clearly didn't happen. And I don't know if it was something that he ever seriously kicked around or not. But he was kind of put off by them even talking about it on TV. And it was like, dude, you got to let them have their time and let them have their say because we fucking had our boot on their neck for 400 years.
Yeah. And it's crazy that people don't understand that and can't rationalize with it.
Yeah. No, they don't I mean, how could you understand being oppressed for 400 years unless you were oppressed for 400 years? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I would like to think that I have a fair grip on it, but I don't know it like my black friends know it. I don't have that same depth. I don't have that historical PTSD, that emotional damage of having generations of your family destroyed, you know, being suppressed, oppressed. You know, when you think back, like the anniversaries coming up of Tulsa, what do you call that? When they went in there and just massacred all the motherfuckers.
Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street, that the
Yep.
white people they just got sick of fucking black people having money and resources. So they fucking went in there and killed them all. You know, like that shit sets your family back, bro. Generationally.
For a long, long time.
Yeah. And now that we're becoming more aware of it, which actually brings up something else I want to mention. But now that you're becoming more aware of it, I mean, you're doing more to try to change it, and you're trying to, and it becomes an issue that needs to be at the forefront. It needs to be discussed. It needs to be protested over because that's how things change. You know, I mean, Mike Madigan just got ousted from the Speaker of the House, and he's replaced by a guy from the Black Caucus, bro. Like that's powerful. That's a power move for the black race in Illinois, anyways. But That sort of brings me around to the next point we might as well get into, which is this cop in San Francisco that started playing music because they had an activist come into the police station. He wanted some documents and he was filming it. So he played music because he knew the Instagram would instantly remove the video when they caught the music being played. That's a
Yep.
tricky tactic by the police, man. And, you know, how that kind of ties into what we were just saying. We're a very, um, we're a surveillance state now, man. Like people talk about privacy. I seen someone else today talk about this microchip in the COVID vaccine, which is ridiculous. Like you have no privacy, man. Bro, your phone is the microchip, and it's been telling everybody that wants to know anything about you everything they need to know for years. Um, and it's not just the government watching us; it's us watching each other and us watching the government. And nobody has been impacted by that more than the police. Really, like camera phones have fucked the police up, man. They've really
Yeah.
had to clean up their
Yeah.
act. And you see these bills coming through now and these cops getting arrested. I just saw another cop in Ohio got charged with murder. And good, man. You have to root these dudes out. Like they have to be held accountable. They have to be. So, you know, here's my violin playing for the criminals that can't get away with shit anymore because there's cameras everywhere. But I'm sort
Improvise,
of for
adapt, and overcome.
yeah. I'm sort of for the surveillance state, man. Like the surveillance state. I mean, if you're not doing nothing wrong, you got nothing to worry about. But your privacy is toast. It's
Good point.
fucking
Good
it's a
point.
figment of your imagination. But now you got these cops fighting back with these tactics, and they were telling them like, why don't you turn your body cam on? Why is your body cam off? If you're worried, if you're so worried about this video, turn your body cam on. I don't know, man. There's still some bogus police out there, and they'll get rooted out in time. And it's good to see the country moving in the direction of a smarter, better policing. But they have to. They're forced to because all this stuff, like people wanted to blame Obama for making a big deal about police brutality, but he didn't. It was the rise of the camera phone, and this shit was always going on. It just wasn't being taped before.
Yep. If you want privacy, you got to unplug, and most people are unwilling or unable to do that. It's an addiction, Joe. It's a drug, and we're all guilty of it at some point, and me especially. Like I'm addicted. Like when one phone is charging, I'm on another phone. Like my second phone, the studio phone, is what I'm broadcasting off of right now. So it's if one phone's charging, I'm scrolling on the other phone, and as sad as it sounds, I probably spend about 3 hours a day, um, and mostly at night when I'm laying down and I should be trying to go to sleep. I'm fucking scrolling. I'm on fucking TikTok. TikTok has a plethora of fucking information. Anything you want to find out or learn is on TikTok. It's not just fucking women twerking and shit like that and kids like playing with toys. Like there's all types of shit on TikTok. It's all who you're following.
Yeah, I've abandoned the idea of privacy altogether. I assume I'm being watched or recorded anytime I leave the house. The trick is to not do anything that anybody cares about.
Yeah.
Don't if you got Alexa in your house, don't be talking about murders. Don't be a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
If you're out there in the game heavy, then you got to live like Osama bin Laden. No phones, no internet, no Alexa, no none of that, man. Like you got to have couriers, and you got to live with fucking walls in your fucking house so no one could see in.
Yeah.
If you're not
But they
prepared to
don't get
do all
that.
that,
Everybody wants to be out there. They want to put themselves out there. You know, people don't do it for the money or nothing anymore. People do it for the clout. It's a clout currency world we're currently
Yeah,
in.
but then they end up dead or indicted pretty
Mhm.
quickly. Like there are no kingpins anymore, man.
No,
That's like you listen if you listen to I don't know if you've heard Benny the Butcher's new album,
yeah,
Burden of Proof. I enjoy it though, but he talks about like the cocaine era is extinct. Like people
yep,
like him, they just don't exist anymore. And to be honest, like I came from that era. I did a lot of that shit. And you know what? That shit is dead. It's dead. That-
yeah.
and it's because Jim Jones said like, dude, if you're in the game, like you need to get the fuck out and get a legal hustle because you're going to go to jail. And he promoted that life for years, but he knows like your time is up, man. There's cameras
They're gonna,
everywhere.
they're gonna,
Everybody's listening.
they're gonna. Once they find out what you're doing, they're gonna let you do it long enough for them to build their case, and there you go.
The feds are playing whack-a-mole with these motherfuckers, man. And my boy told me he seen some mobsters the other day up in Rosemont, and it's like, bro, I can't even imagine what they're into anymore because every time they pop their head out, they get slapped with 1,000 years.
Yeah,
Like you can't really do shit. So the trick is to all them people that are watching, be a nobody to those people. Don't be anybody that they care about. That's what you got to
exactly.
do. That's how you survive in today's age. Just know people are listening and don't give them nothing. Don't be involved in nothing. So that's my take on that.
Okay.
You want to get into this child tax credit a little bit?
Oh yeah, we can. There's. I'm currently four. There's four people ahead of me.
Are you still on the court Zoom?
I'm still in court zone,
Wow. What fucking time is it, man? You got on there at 4. You had court. They've been had you waiting for 3 hours. That shit's wild, man.
bro. And it's there was at the max there was 52 people in here. We're down to 11 now.
And they're still not fucking with you.
They're going
Pro-
alphabetically.
yeah. So hold on. I think I got to sneeze. Dude, my beard is so long. I can't get my hair cut until I see my neurologist on the 15th because of my head wound. Look at how bad my hair is. It's ridiculous. It's fully grown in on the sides. I got nothing up top. And I haven't got my beard trimmed either. And like my hairs are just so long. They're like curling up my nose and irritating my fucking nose. Anyways, so Mitt Romney threw out a plan for a child tax credit, and it was 3,600 per child under 6 and 3,000 per child from 6 to 17. The Dems took it and ran with it. I don't, he was talking about cutting programs to pay for it. I'm not sure we're on that. I think we just took the idea and we threw it in the COVID relief program.
Yep.
Um, so it's supposed to decrease child poverty by 54%, I believe. So that's a big deal to me.
I seen something that'll help minority families. That it'll raise their annual income by 33%.
Yeah, I mean, probably the ones in poverty.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's exactly what they're talking about.
but a lot of them probably got side hustles too that aren't on the books. But with that being said, a lot of the beef is, like some of the complaints I've heard was, well, they're just going to have kids now to get that tax credit. So what I want to know, Shmo, I know you got kids. Rachel, if you're still watching, I know you got kids too. Do your kids cost you more than or under 3 grand a year? I want to know if parents are really coming out on top with this. But it's definitely
No,
it's a nice chunk on the tax return. It definitely
no,
is. But are
there's
you still coming out in the black? I'm not so sure.
no, definitely not. While I don't have any children, I was a stepdad. My 7 years in California, and no, no, not at all. These it's they eat and they eat and they eat. And my stepdaughter's 20, my stepson is 13, and he eats like anything he sees. Like I used to go grocery shopping every day for what I was going to cook that day, because if I went and bought shit for like a week, he was going to eat everything.
It'd be gone in 3 days.
If he didn't have to cook it himself, it was gone, no matter what it was. And that don't include the miscellaneous shit. Like he wants his Xbox shit, he wants the Game Pass version of Xbox Live, so that's $15 a month if you pay for it monthly. He wants a cell phone, so that's an added cell phone bill on the added line. He wants to play football. That's $650, not including equipment and uniform and shit like that. So no, and like I said, if they're toddlers, it's a little easier. The older they get, the more it costs. Now he's 13. Exactly, Joe. Just like I said, $650 for him to play football. Then he's a teenager. Well, even preteens, at starting 11, he wanted Jordans. His foot's so fucking big, it's $190 for a goddamn pair of shoes. So it's definitely more than $3,000 a year.
You haven't even talked about daycare.
No daycare, or you got to factor in rent. Without kids, you can have a smaller place.
The fact that lesser utilities. Man, they grow out of clothes so fast.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of spending. So people that say it's just an incentive to have more kids. I mean, I don't know how you're coming out on top over $3,000 in a year.
No, I don't think so at all.
No.
Shit, I spend more than $3,000 a year on fucking backwoods. What Joe said. Joe says that's why I bought this horse. Take care of extracurriculars for both kids and my wife for the low price of $400 a month. You got a fucking horse, huh?
But what about the storage of the horse? And all the food you got to feed the horse. You got to buy the horse a bunch of carrots and apples.
So Joe? Is that all? Is all that what Rich talking about? Is all that included in $400 a month?
Yeah, and somebody, because you got to have it at a stable. Somebody's got to take care of it. That's got to be part of the $400 a month. Probably the food is too.
I don't know where Joe lives, but I don't think he got Mr. Ed in the backyard.
No. I know where I know where Joe lives. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a stable on property.
That's covered in the boarding. Yeah, $400 a month for a vehicle with 1 horsepower. That's not a good deal, Joe.
Well, you know what though? I mean, horses are expensive.
But that's stuff for the kids and wife. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Joe's wife has always been into horses, so I'm sure. And 400 is $400, but what is that? Is that $4,800 a year? I mean, it's a car note.
So
it's definitely a car note.
So Joe, do you have like a horse trailer? Can you bring this horse to other places? I might need a horse for a music video. And is your horse big enough to have somebody 6'3", 285 pounds on it? I've been wanting to put Bug on a horse for a video concept idea that I've had.
Bug 6'3", 285.
Yeah.
He needs to go to Omob's fucking smoothie shop a little more often.
Yeah, he does. I go there every day, but I go there to gain weight, not to lose it.
Yeah.
Yes, he's like, yes, I have a horse trailer. Look at Joe. Joe, you know what? I might have to holler at you, Joe, in the future.
Might need to rent that out. Rent out the horse for a day.
Hell yeah.
So we'll see what becomes of this child tax credit.
The stimulus seems to be moving along pretty well. I think we're going to see that $1,400 deposited in our accounts fairly quickly. Hey, you know what's going to happen is it's going to line up where motherfuckers are getting their tax checks and stimulus all within like a week or two of each other, and these people are going to be ghetto balling. Walmart's going to have all their TVs out in the aisles. It's going to be a magical month for capitalism.
I saw it was the same chick I was arguing with over the weekend about what did I mention earlier? Oh, about the Keystone Pipeline. She was coming at me. She was coming at me about some of Biden's executive orders too. But she said I saw people taking pictures of their bank account with the stimulus money in it. You know, basically talking about, I don't know, not that they're rich, but just feeling good about themselves. And she's like, this is the kind of people that Democrats fucking defend and support. And I was like, yeah, yeah. We look out for poor people that think fucking that $1,000 is a lot of money. There's a lot of those
No,
people out there.
it's not. $1,000 is not a lot of money.
No, it ain't shit.
$1,000 don't even pay.
But there's a lot of people it means a lot
Pays
too.
rent. Pays my rent. That's about it.
You know, there's a lot of people it means a lot to. And that's just the lack of perspective.
All right, have a good. Thanks for tuning in, Joe. I can't move it up to 6 because I already do a show on Sunday night starting at 7, so that's why we start at 4, so that we end around 6, and it gives me an hour to get set up for the next show. But I did think about doing it later, but then I run into problems with the other one.
Yeah, you'll have to catch us not live.
Yeah, but thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on Sunday. Yeah, so it's I just I can't wait to get everything moving on. COVID hospitalizations have been decreasing for the 3rd week in a row.
10% of the country is vaccinated.
Yeah, vaccines are ramping up. Speaking of San Diego, Del Mar Fairgrounds, which is one of the it's also a racetrack, horse track. So it's one of the biggest horse tracks in the country. There is going to be a super site for San Diego County residents. Out here, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're at 70 years old and older right now, and healthcare workers. I know a couple of people who have gotten both doses and are doing fine. They're just ready to get back to work. One of them is Bruce Hall. He's the bassist of REO Speedwagon. He just got his second one yesterday. So I know the members of Kansas too. They got theirs, and I also know the drum tech, who's a good friend of mine. He's scheduled to get his second dose next week. So everybody that I know that has gotten the first dose, and I know a couple people have gotten the second dose. Everybody's fine. No side effects whatsoever, no after effects or anything like that. So I'm just waiting till they open it up for me, and then I'll go ahead and go get stabbed.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my doctor to clear me. I probably got
I'm
to
waiting
get
to see
through
if I can get
my.
all. Can I get all of them? Can I get all the vaccines from all the companies, please?
I got all the non-COVID ones. I take them.
So that's that. What else did I want to talk about?
We're talking about the the Georgia investigation. If you want to get in that a little bit, or we could save it for Sunday. I really don't care. It's up to you.
Yeah, Aaron. We're both gonna get it when it's made available to us.
Yeah, once my doctor tells me to go get it, I'll go get it.
Yeah,
for sure. I have every other vaccination because I'm severely immunocompromised. So I'm not worried about it. I believe in the shit. I don't believe there's a microchip in it. And frankly, if Bill Gates did put a microchip in it, I don't give a shit. Like I said,
especially if it helps my cell phone reception.
Yeah, maybe I can get that good 5G. Wasn't that shit supposed to be some huge conspiracy?
Yeah, 5G caused COVID.
What happened to that? All you got was, you thought it was going to cause COVID, and all you got was better cell service. And now you got nothing to say.
I got a 5G phone, and I haven't got COVID yet.
Yeah, COVID's about the one thing I haven't had go wrong in the last 3 months.
And you spent quite a bit of time in the hospital the last month and a half, so I'm surprised that. I'm
gonna be honest. I thought I was going back in today. I can't believe my nephrologist didn't send me to the ER, man. Because my hemoglobin's so low, but she's trying to keep me out of the hospital, which I'm totally cool with. But I woke up prepping to bounce, bro, and I was like, man,
Yeah,
I got
that's
to see
why
what's to it.
I had looked at my phone and seen the time, and I hadn't heard from you yet. So I was like, man, I wonder if we're just gonna wait till wonder if we're gonna wait till Sunday.
Actually, I was thinking the same thing. I was waiting for you, and finally, I just said something once it got close enough.
Yeah, I had lost track of time like that last 45 minutes. I was with the landlord and signed the new lease. It's crazy that it's been a year already, and going over the new lease for the office that I took over.
Yeah,
So I was getting all that stuff in order. But yeah, the Georgia really wants to go at Trump. Um, they're laying the groundwork, and they started the process of getting down to the shits, as I like to say. It's gonna be interesting because we know that he pressured Georgia officials repeatedly on the election results there and pressured them to overturn and find votes necessary to overturn the
yeah,
election results there.
and they have his call recorded, which I'm sure if we took the
Yes.
time to find, we could pull it up on the internet and play it for you. But I mean, you don't have to do that right now if you don't want to. But yeah, I mean, they're investigating. It was just opened, or at least just revealed to the public recently, so we'll see where it goes. But they're talking conspiracy and racketeering, man. Those are tough charges. Those are real tough
Fed
charges.
charges.
Yeah.
You got those young Fed charges.
Though it's hard.
And yeah, so it's gonna be it's gonna be because Georgia's the least of his worries because he still has New York. New York is gonna be the biggest one of them all.
That's tax shit, though, I think. And they already reported that he moved all that money he made post election, the 250 million in campaign funds. He's moved that into his personal businesses now, which is the least surprising thing all fucking year.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the least.
of course that was going to happen. People were such idiots, man,
Yeah.
for paying for his fucking shit. But, there's a lot of suckers in this country, apparently.
Yeah, that's just yeah. I would agree with you there. That's to say the least.
Yeah. So we'll keep you in tune with that thing as it keeps, that case as it keeps
Yeah.
going.
I'm
Rob, I
sure
think
we'll
I'm ready to
have
get.
updates to that, the impeachment, see how the stimulus moves along by the end of the week, and we'll see what else we have for you guys on Sunday at 4:00.
Yeah. So Rob, you picked the Bucks and you won. I picked the
Yes.
Chiefs. I lost last week. So for this week, is he guilty or innocent? Which way is this going to turn out? Let's hear your prediction.
Man, I mean, I want to say guilty. I do want to say guilty. We know he's guilty. I with the way everything's been flipping in our favor, I would hold on one second. I'm at the studio. Yeah, I'm at the studio. Yeah, I got go ahead and take over real quick.
So I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll know by Sunday how this plays out. Man, that's really it for today. We'll be back Sunday and every Sunday thereafter.
Yep.
Hopefully Joe Schmo can adjust his schedule to come hang out with us because he's a very
Yeah,
loyal viewer.
it'll be good. We'll see what the future holds, but we will be here Sunday, starting at 4:00. I'm currently redoing the podcast area. I don't know how different it probably won't be different for you guys because you just see us and a background. But I'm adding lighting and shit like that. But having everything ready to go for Sunday, hopefully. And it's going to be good. Everything's good here so far, 2021, business-wise so far. But I can't wait. I can't wait to get to the new day. We think that it's going to open us up to a wider range of potential audience participants.
Yep.
Because the Sunday people are off and shit like that. So we will see you on Sunday at 4 o'clock, and then followed after White Devils at 7 is Sunday dinner with me, Rome, Trell, and Indy. And we're adding shows. I will be bringing season 2 of Friday Night Live. We will be back soon. I got the guest everything down. I'm scheduling all the guests. But I got one big guest that I want to lead the season off with, so I'm waiting for him to be ready. And we're going to make sure you go to YouTube, search the radio network, like and subscribe and all that
Like,
good
share,
shit.
subscribe.
We have all season 1 of White Devils, season 2. We have the specials. We have Friday Night Live. We have episodes of Villain Radio Show. We got all types of content on there, and we have all types of content coming up. Also, go to YouTube and search. Go ahead and look up Hollow Gang Bug. Check out here's the live video, directed and edited by me. And that album, Here's Life, is coming out soon. We do everything here. We produce podcasts. We put out music. This is Villain Radio, and we will see you guys on Sunday.
Yo, what happened to peace? Peace.
Yes.